Hey everybody, welcome back. So as many of you already know, I just recently upgraded my Atom 80 to the new Moster 185. It, however, was a pretty lengthy process all in all, but I got through it with a lot of help from my friends, but also looking at videos online, looking up manuals, basically trying to piece together everything that I would need to make sure that I did the swap as best as I could. So while I was ultimately successful in removing the engine and putting the new one on, it did take quite a bit of learning, fixing some mistakes that I had made, just readjusting different parameters, and also customizing it to the way that I was comfortable when I flew my Atom. As I said before, I poured over countless manuals and videos, just basically covering everything from hang points to making sure that my throttle cables, everything was correct as well. Finally, back in December, I had my very first chance to launch with my new friend Jeff. However, that inaugural flight did not go anywhere near as planned. In my level of novice ability, while I was putting together my Moster, one of the things that I missed was a bolt that I think went to, at the time I thought went to my Atom, was actually a bolt that helped keep the framework together for the exhaust. So during my launch with Jeff, I got up in the air and that exhaust came off of that bracket.
Something did sound good.
Luckily, the exhaust itself was still part of the assembly. However, I could hear my prop hitting just the tip of the exhaust. I quickly made a split decision to land safely, so I killed my engine, came in for the landing just to make sure that everything was a-okay. So I was able to finally fix the issue at home, make it permanent so that way I never ran into that ever again. However, it was another 3 months before I was able to fly again. That just kind of comes with the territory of being here in Indiana. It tends to be pretty seasonal and change quite a bit. We just haven't had a good combination of winds or just coldness in general. It's been a lot of times very, very, very cold and not fun to fly in that temperatures. But I finally got my window here in March and I was able to finally set up and get up in the skies for the first time. So we're going to turn it over and get some of my raw feedback from that flight, and then I will cover it more in depth as well.
So we are up in the air. Wow, this thing is definitely lives up to the name Angry Dudes. So definitely gonna have to get used to my throttle when I launch, as far as when to give it pressure. Because on the Moster, on my Viterazzi Moster, or I'm sorry, on my Atom 80, I can hit the power band differently. But hang points feel good. Everything feels pretty smooth so far. I'm just gonna have to play around. So, slight torque to the right when I go to full throttle. So I don't know if that's normal or part of these types of engines. I may need to boost up my harness or tighten it, sit a little bit off center. I have another glider on the way too, the Roadster 4, so I'm excited for that wing as well. So this probably may be my last time flying this wing for now. Should arrive pretty soon.
So as you heard from my feedback, a lot of it was, I think, having to do with the hang angle itself. I felt like I still wasn't getting the right amount of thrust. Also, I felt that a little bit more torque was happening than normal, and I later found out that that's pretty normal for Moster's 185 if you come into that full power band. I have since learned to kind of not go straight to full power as I did in Atom, which kind of reduces that during my takeoff. But by moving my hang points back, I was also able to get in and out of my seat at an easier pace than I would before. Some other things I noticed with the new engine, it feels a lot more smoother. There's definitely more power as I'm coming into my corners. If I'm braking and coming into do a turn, as I give it full power, I just feel that pendulum effect kind of swing me around the corner as well. So that was a great asset to have that power. But the biggest thing I saw more than anything else, I guess I'd say felt, is just the climb rate. when I needed to jump over, let's say, power line or tree line or something like that. Going to full power on the Moster, I was able to just jump straight up. So with that, it's going to take a little bit of finesse of learning that power band range. I'm quickly learning that I don't need to go to full throttle mostly. A lot of times I can get done what I really want to do by going 3/4 of the way. So that is an awesome thing to do as well. So the flight I took around my hometown was just kind of a ease my way into the new motor, basically feel it out, basically learn to feel the engine again, learn to feel everything that I had going on with it. But ultimately I landed and I still wasn't able to fully come out of my seat. I've since decided to move my hang angle back a little bit more, which then increased the angle forward as well, which also allowed me to come out of the seat. However, while I was doing some of my hang testing to kind of find that angle again, I did still run into the issue where I just felt like I wasn't coming out of the seat properly. So to fix that, I simply loosened my leg straps. That changed everything. I was able to slide out fuller to come in for a safer landing as well. I also had another opportunity to be able to fly with my friends basically 2 days later. This time we headed out to Pendleton where I was able to test out the new hang angle. I also had my decals added to my prop that basically say my name in Star Wars language, which was exciting. But I basically was able to explore Pendleton with them as well. So I quickly found out that the hang angles that I changed to were excellent. I basically found out that this was what I was comfortable with the Atom. I just felt like I was back in the same saddle, so to speak, again. I was able to do my turns, I was able to do weight shifting, everything felt more in tune to what I needed to get not only from the engine itself, but from the frame and harness and everything put well together. Once I started to feel more comfortable with not only my engine, but my wing and everything together, I started pushing it a little bit further and having some more fun exploring the power band, exploring what my engine could do, and just starting to get that connection built up again. I'm super excited to get my Roadster 4 when it arrives, so we'll do a test on that one as well. So I'll have to play around with a lot of the features that go along with that, along with the changes that will come in just in the handling itself. So I'm super excited for that as well. But one of the caveats to pushing the envelope, so to speak, is I decided to try to come in at a really hot speed when I saw my friend land. And as you can see from this video, I came in super hot. Didn't quite stick the landing, but it just was a testament to me becoming more confident with not only my wing, but the engine as well, and my landings as well. So we'll work on that, see if we can come in fast but safely as well. But as always, make sure when you do those landings and anything in general, fly safe.